Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be making a little butterfly shadow box. This is going to be a nice little gift for Mother's Day, or you can obviously use it for any other occasion. Let me show you what the supplies are going to be so we can get to crafting. Alright, let me tell you that most of these supplies are going to be from the Dollar Tree. You can get your supplies from anywhere that you have available to you. This is a little box that I found at the Dollar Tree. It has a lid. It has a nice little color inside. If you don't find one that's decorative, you can always use some fabric or some printed paper, or like wrapping paper or tissue paper to decoupage and cover it, or even use craft paints to paint a little box. So if you don't find a nice little box like this, you can use like a shoebox, for example. Okay, moving along, I got these two butterfly packet also from the Dollar Tree. I picked this one because I'm going to be making this for my mother-in-law, and she loves purple, so I decided a purple butterfly. And she likes pink and purple. But anyway, I'm only going to use one of them. It's a packet of two, but I only need one. Like if you don't want to use a butterfly, you can use like little birds, maybe a little nest with some little eggs. Also from the Dollar Tree, I got some flowers right here. These are leftovers from another bush. These right here, they were from a bush from the Dollar Tree, and then I have a complete bush here that I'm going to cut from. I've got some pink in there. I've got a leftover flowers from another bush from another store, which was Hobby Lobby. But I'm going to go ahead and probably use some of the little flowers. I do like this little bit here, maybe for the butterfly to lay on. So just grab whatever little leftover bits of flowers you might have, and we'll use those. Also, greenery I have left over. This is also from the Dollar Tree. You can find some at the Dollar Tree. This is from Hobby Lobby. I don't know if I said that. But this is from Hobby Lobby, but you can get some from the Dollar Tree. These are leftover bits that I'm going to use, and that's why I did not purchase anything extra. I also have this ivy here with some small leaves, and I got this also from Hobby Lobby. And obviously, you know, this was a clearance priced bush, so I'm just grabbing whatever little pieces I can from here, so I don't need to purchase anything new. This is also a leftover piece of garland that I got. I don't even remember where I purchased this, to be honest with you. So this is just a little garland that has some little leaves on it. You can use a ribbon, you can use like a hemp string, something like that, instead of this. And this is only to cover some areas that we're going to be cutting in the box. Now, to make this a little shadow box, we want to complete it. So instead of doing a frame with a glass, I'm going to be using wire from this basket, this waste basket. And I got this from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to be cutting out a piece from this. I will need any scrappy bit of styrofoam, maybe some moss. I may use my scissors. I'm definitely going to need my wire cutters to cut through that basket. I'm going to need some sort of cutter to cut through the cardboard of the box, or the top of the lid of the box, or the lid. And so I have an X-Acto knife, I have a rotary cutter, and I just have like a regular craft knife here. So I'll see which one of these works best. I also have my scissors here just in case. And then of course I have my glue gun and some glue sticks. I also have these greenery pens in case I want to use those to attach the moss to the styrofoam. So these are just the supplies that we'll need. So you grab whatever you may have available to you. This is just a little idea to help you in case you can't think of something to make for Mother's Day or even for any other occasion. Okay, let's get to crafting. Okay, I'm going to be using the lid of this box to create a window so that we can have a little shadow box. Like I said, you could use a little frame if you want to use that, and then the opening, and then just use the glass instead of having to use this basket and create a little shadow box out of that. But I'm going to go ahead and cut out from here because I wanted to use this little box. I thought it was cute, and I figured, you know, if you have a little box laying around at home and you just want to recycle it, this is something you can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an opening here, and I really should have gotten a pencil and a small straight edge. So let me find something real quick. Okay, I've got something that'll sort of kind of fit in here. And actually I have, is this small enough? Yeah, I have a little small straight edge here. I'll use that instead. Okay, so I want to cut an opening in here, and I want to go as close as I can to the edge, but I want to leave enough so that it does, you know, lay on here, okay? So I'm just going to give it about a 1/2 inch on each side. So you do your opening at the size that you feel you're going to need. Now let's say you have a box like this and you don't have a lid, that's fine. We can still use the box without this lid, and we can put the mesh that I'm going to cut from here directly on here. Just cut it to size to fit on top of here. And then you can use ribbon or a little garland like I have, or some little rope to hide that edge so you don't see the edges of the wire from the basket. I'm just going to refer to it as the mesh because it is sort of like a mesh. Okay, this will fit in here, so let me go ahead and grab that other piece. And let's go ahead and just kind of eyeball it. And then the other side. Okay, I'm also on a little surface here where I can do some cutting. So you want to do that. Get your knife and then just push in and start cutting. And I would cut a little bit at a time rather than trying to do the whole thing, because you don't want your hand to slip. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little cut. Now if you want to do a cut somewhere in the middle, like cut off a piece, let's give an example here. You got to push all the way through. That works just fine. Let's do that. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about so that you can understand what I'm saying here. Okay, we've got a hole cut out. It doesn't have to be a triangle. It can be in any shape. And then if you want to go ahead and go in with your scissors to get to the edges, or this way, whichever's easier. This little lid has a really pretty scalloped edge, so I don't want to mess up the little box, or actually that lid right there. Okay, so now that I've cut in like that, if you're able, you know, go ahead and start cutting it with your scissors. But I think the easiest way would be to get in there with the X-Acto knife. And now that I've kind of cut in there, I can push the knife all the way in and cut. Okay. Okay, I'm going to continue cutting this out, and I will be back. I will say, don't worry about it being too even or straight, because you are going to cover that up. Yes. Alright, so I've cut out the opening on my lid here. It's not the perfect cut, but like I said, it doesn't matter because we're going to be covering up that edge on our lid. Okay, on the inside of the box, if you've found a box that's not decorated, you know, it doesn't have anything on it, you can go ahead and decoupage with some wrapping paper or some tissue paper, scrapbook paper, or some pieces of fabric, you know, whatever you want to do. Or if you decide that you want to use some craft paints to paint it, like I said, you could use like a shoebox, but if you don't have this part, you don't have to worry about it. We can go ahead and leave that out and just use at least this part of the box. So if maybe you have a frame, little framed art that you buy that's in this type of a form, they do have something like that at Dollar Tree. If you do not find the little boxes, they do have the little canvas art, so you can just turn it around and use the back, which will be open like this. And then they usually have like a little saying here, a little design on it. But anyway, what I wanted to get to next was to tell you about the background here. So if you decorate your box or you paint it in, and if you want to maybe print out something that you can stick to the back here, maybe like a Mother's Day card type of thing, and if you want to cut out the message from it, you know, that's already printed for you. You can find those also at the Dollar Tree. You know, you can find birthday cards and Mother's Day cards, Easter even. I know it's kind of a little late for that, but I don't know, if you're a quick crafter, maybe you can do something for that. And then just put it on here. or even Christmas time, you know, whatever's coming up. And you stick it on there, or a picture of someone in the back here would be nice, like a little photo box. It's just an idea of what you can put in the background. You don't have to put anything on there. I'm not going to do that because I feel like it's got a nice light blue kind of a background that looks kind of like a sky. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use that. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to start cutting this. And this is very soft kind of a wire. So I want to go ahead and start cutting this out of here because I want to cut a piece that is enough for me to put on the inside of here, and it's big enough to the size of my box. So if I didn't have that, that would be okay because I'm cutting it to the size of the opening, and I can glue it onto the edge and then cover it with some ribbon or some rope or some little garland like the one that I showed you. But we're going to do it on my lid because since I do have that, we're going to put it on the inside of it. So the next thing is to go ahead and get some of this mesh cut from this basket. As you can see, this pretty much has a nice area here where we can cut a little piece that'll be the size of the opening of my box. Okay, now there is one thing about these little baskets. The mesh is like it's closed a little bit tighter here, and then it kind of opens up and it's spread out. I don't mind that. I think I like the smaller opening, kind of like at the bottom, and then maybe where it opens up even more at the top of my design. Now I'm going to use my shadow box like this. You could decide to do it like that. Unless it's perfectly square, then it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to use it kind of like this, so it's standing like that. And I want the smaller, more closed little mesh part of it at the bottom here, and then the bigger opening up here. Okay, so we're going to use our wire cutters to start cutting into that. So the best thing to do is to get on one of these ends and just cut it. And you're going to need some good wire cutters. And this is going to take some time as well because you're going to have to cut all the way down and then across, at least big enough for that opening, and then back up and then across like that to get this little trim off of it. Okay, so that is what I'm going to do. Now if you choose, you can go ahead and just start cutting all the way and remove the trim, and then where it kind of seals, where is it? This doesn't have like a, I bought a basket one time and you could tell where it came and it's sealed like that, but this one doesn't seem to have that. It's all the way around. It's a complete around a circle. Okay, but if it did have a seal, and I kind of see it right about here, right where I started cutting now that I noticed it. See that? Then you just cut down all the way and then cut this bottom part as well. And so then this part, once it's cut from here and these this bottom piece and this trim are off, you can then open it up and spread it out and then use it for other projects. So I'm going to go ahead and continue cutting. I started cutting right here, so I'm going to continue cutting and get my little rectangle, or maybe I'll go ahead and cut out the whole thing so I can spread it out. So I'll be back once that is all cut out. Alright, I've managed to cut off that trim piece on the top so I can throw that away. It's very, very flexible. I can bend it up a little bit if I want so that I can properly put it in the trash can so it'll fit in there. See, I can bend it like that so I don't have that big circle. And what I did when I was cutting it out, I didn't go all the way down to the bottom. I left a little bit here because I thought, hey, this could make a nice little basket. I'm going to have to do something about these little edges here because they are sharp. Maybe I'll bend them down, or maybe I'll put something on them. I had cut all the way down, and then I realized, well, you know what? I don't need to cut all the way down. So I do have it cut right here, but I'll just seal it some way. Put a little wire on it. I think I'm just make a little cute little basket to hold some things. So I'll just save that and see what else I can think to do with that. But I have this leftover piece here, as you can see now, and I won't need obviously this whole length, so I just need the size of my box. I'm just going to cut it just a tiny bit bigger, not too much, because I really don't want to have to be doing a ton of trimming and cutting off. But I did find out that my older scissors were great for cutting on in this. So if you have an old pair of scissors that you don't mind sacrificing, then use that. I'm just going to make a little mark there on the size that I want and cut all the way down. Okay, so I can remove this, and now I have this little piece here. Now I'm going to straighten it up as much as I can. Just flatten it as much as you can. If you got to get some books on it and hold it down to press it, or get a rolling pin maybe. Okay. That's good. Okay, so now I'm just going to trim off these little bits here. Go all the way up, get that off of there. Check it again. Okay, then I'm going to trim off this little part here to make it a little bit smaller or less width. And what I really want is for this to fit on my lid. That's why I really wanted to use the lid, because I want this to fit right inside. So even if I cut it just a teeny bit short, you know, of the width of this one, it's fine. But try to get it the size of this, if you, or do get it at the size of this. Even if it's a little bit bigger, you can bend down the little edges, okay? And then you can cover that up. So if you take it, for example, like this, and let's say this is a big piece, and you got a little trim, you can bend that down and have it on the side, and then you could just, either if you like the look, leave it like that, or just put a little trim on the edge. You want to make sure it's not too pointy. Okay, now I'm going to trim off up here to get this size a little bit smaller. Okay, and let's see. Okay, it looks like I need to cut a little bit more. I went up because I wasn't sure if I was cutting correctly. Okay, let's see. I think that will fit in there now. Yes, it does. Okay, let's clean up our little bits. Now I have this like that. See, like that? Okay. If I didn't have that, that would get glued on to the edges here. After we've decorated in there, of course. You don't want to glue it on at this point. Okay, that would be almost right. I would have had to cut a little bit wider for it to fit on top, you know, nicely. But I have my lid, so this is a fine size. Okay, so now all I just want to do is make sure these little edges are going to be touching the inside edge here on the bottom of the box, because I'm going to hot glue that down. So I'm probably going to do one side first, let that get glued, and then I'll do the other side, rather than trying to glue it all down at once and then it popping up on me, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. Got my glue gun ready. I'm going to glue down this bottom part. And I'm just putting the glue right up at the little edge at the bottom. And of course I need more glue, always happens. Okay. So I've got that glued down. Lots of glue, and I'm going to let that dry before I go on to the next parts. Okay? Once I've got it all glued down and it's nice and dry, I will be back. Alright, so I've glued down the mesh piece that I cut out from the basket onto the lid opening. It's not quite dry, but it's almost dry. It's holding on pretty good. As I was putting the glue in there, I was also using the tip of the glue gun to push down on those little edges to kind of bend them downward so they would stick down. And once they weren't lifting up anymore, I stopped holding it down. Or you can put some weight on it, really. That's what you could do. Just put something in there to hold it down while it's drying as well. So this is what it looks like on this other side. But then we do have these really raw edges on the box, and we want to hide them. And you could use a cute little rope, or you could use a thin ribbon to cover that up, or if you want to put some beads or maybe even some rhinestones on it and bling it up, then use that. I'm going to use this little thin garland that I have that has little leaves on it. That's what I'm going to use. Okay, so start doing that by putting some hot glue on there and then pressing this down. Again, this is also with wire. I think what I'm going to do for the best deal for myself, so it'll make it easy, is I'm going to cut the pieces that fit that size, rather than trying to bend it and then holding it down and then this popping up on me if it's not dry enough. Now, you don't have to cut it, you can be patient, but I'm not being very patient because I waited to the last minute to do this video. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue. Now I want to make sure I get it on the box edge rather than on the mesh. I'm going to get some glue there because it's also lifting up right here. The little decorative paper that's on the lid of the box. Okay, so just make sure you get it on the box. I was trying to bend the little leaves also so they were all going forward, so that I had this little wire here where I could see it, and then glue that down. Okay. Okay, so then rather than waiting for, you know, holding it down before I bend this other end, I cut it off. So now I can go ahead and turn this over and try to straighten this wire as much as I can, and then cut it to size. Okay, so then I'm going to glue that, and I'm going to continue all the way around this little edge, and I think that looks really pretty so far. So I'll let you look at that close up. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I'm almost done. I've just got to put the last piece on there. Now this video was supposed to be for this past Tuesday, and as you all know, I let you know that I was gonna have to redo my video because it wasn't recording. So I keep looking up now to make sure that it is recording, and that's another reason why I'm trying to hurry up, because I want to make sure that it all got recorded, because if it didn't, I'll have to start all over and do something else. Now I had already done something and like this, but I did it in a butterfly shaped box and it came out so pretty. I don't have it because I got so upset, and I was outside talking to my neighbor, and I ended up, hey, would you like it? And I gave her the little box, so I don't have it. I do have an extra one because I bought extra just in case, but it was so much work, and I thought, you know what, it's gonna, the chances of finding that butterfly shaped box for everybody else, I don't think it was gonna be that easy. I did get it from the Dollar Tree along with this one, and I'm glad that I did get this one because, okay, so this is the one, the other one, the shape, but the other one was in a purple with pinks, and it was perfect for my mother-in-law because she likes purple and pinks. And yeah, I could have just given her that one, right? Hello. Okay, well anyway, she's gonna like this one anyway. I think she this is my favorite color, actually, blue. Okay, so this might go to her. I don't know, maybe I'll make her something else. Okay, but I did want to print out something that said Happy Mother's Day and put it on here, and my printer just didn't want to do that. So anyway, I like the blue, and I like the idea that it's like a sky, so that's good enough for me. So anyway, here's how that little box is going to work now. We're going to be putting this on here, and look, now we have a little box, and we can put whatever we want in there, okay? And I'm going to make a little scenery in there with the flowers and the butterfly. It would be pretty also to get some of those battery operated lights in there so that they could turn on the lights. As a matter of fact, I'm going to look and see if I have any. If I don't, that's fine. But you can make a little hole back here, enough to fit in the little lights heads in there, feed them through, get the battery pack glued to the back here so that when it stands, they can go behind it, turn it on, and it'll light up in there. I think that would be really cute. I should be finishing this up. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to decorate the inside of the box, and this is why I have the styrofoam. I'm going to cut real quick and see if I do have any lights that I can use in there, because that's just a last minute idea that I have, and I think I want to try it. I know that I do have some lights, but they're kind of expensive, so let's see if I can find anything at all. Well, I did find a string of lights, and they happen to be from the Dollar Tree, and I put some batteries in there, and they work, and they have like a little bit of a blue tint to them, and that's fine. Or is that because they're in the box? No, they have a tiny bit of a blue, I think. I don't know. They're fine. Anyway, there we go. They work just fine. So what I want to do is I want to feed them through the box. So I'm going to make a little hole down here at the bottom where I can feed the lights through it, bring it all the way as much as I can, at least to where that first light starts. And then I'm going to start seeing where these lights will fit, hopefully on the edge here in the back. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to do a little hole here back on the back. Let's try the X-Acto knife. I thought maybe if I use that little screwdriver. By the way, this has a little screw on here that has to be taken off, so I had to dig through all my screwdrivers. It took me longer to find the the screwdriver than the lights. And this was in a little can that was just right there at my fingertips. Okay, so we're going to cut this through and make it big enough. Let's see, where's the very first one? Right here. That fits just fine, so we're going to feed all of them. I don't want to pull them through on the, well, I think that'll be okay. Yeah, it's big enough. So I'm going to feed and pull just a tiny bit. There we go. Let's see how far. One more and that's it. Pulling through on the other side. Now this, I want to glue it on the back, but I'm not going to do it yet because, I probably have, no, I'll have it laying down like that because I need you to see what I'm doing. Okay, so, let me pull it back out. Let me see how much of a reach these have. Oh, I can put it, actually I can put them on the front edge because then they'll kind of be behind the lid rather than being in the back. Rather than being back here where when you're looking through the box you can see the wire. I'm gonna glue them to the top edge here so that when you put the lid on, this will kind of camouflage the wire inside of me. If you turn it to sideways you'll be able to see the wire, but you know, if you're looking at it directly straight forward, then you won't see the wire because it'll be on the side. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's see, I think if I start right here, yeah, okay, let's do that. I'm going to glue one right here on the edge, just a little tiny bit of glue. And just making sure that the little light is right there. Now don't worry if it goes up above that because once we put the lid on there, that'll push down, you know, the little light downward. Okay, so it's gonna have a little bit of a loop because the lights were a little long, and that's okay. I'm just making sure that when it dries, I'm holding the lights downward so that it dries like that because I don't want to like force it down when I put the lid on it and then this breaks off. So I'm still making sure the little lights are flexible, that the lid can push them down flat. Okay, so I'm going to continue doing this all the way around the box till I get to hopefully somewhere here in the middle. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of figuring out here. You know what, maybe I'll just glue that very last one, very end, down. You can glue them flat on here if you want instead of the way that I'm doing it, so that they lay flat like that instead of sticking out. But I don't mind them sticking out like that. I feel like this is going to cover a lot. And then you have these little lights right there. That'll be pretty. Yeah, okay. I shall continue doing that. Oops, let's see. I'll be back. Okay, I've got all the little lights all settled in. I'm going to use this part where I poked the hole at the back. That's going to be the bottom of my little display. So I'm actually going to put my styrofoam back here. But I'm actually going to cut it a little bit smaller because I don't need that big of a piece. I can use my craft scissors or a little craft knife. Okay, so now I'm going to glue this little piece down at the bottom right here. I think I'm going to do it a little bit. No, I'll do it centered. I think it'll be fine. I was thinking about a little bit off center, but probably on this side. But I want to hide this, so that's fine. I think just in the center was fine. So now I need some more hot glue sticks. Okay, here we go, right over here in my little jar. I have this cute little cup. Okay, so I'm just going to put some glue at the back here, and then here. Okay, I glue that right in there. Right in there. Okay, then you can take some of the moss. I'm going to get a little bit at a time. Spread it, but not too much because you don't want to see the green of the moss. And I'm not going to worry about it being too close to that bottom edge here because that's going to get covered hopefully by the edge of the box. This box here will cover this little edge. So I'm going to use those greenery pins to hold that down. Oops, a little bit more, a little higher, there we go. Okay, and then I'm just going to get a little bit of this one and just kind of loosely place it on the top here. I want to be able to stick floral stems in there, so I'm going to stick some more of this and then a little bit more on the side over here. I'm going to stick this little bit in there too. Okay, so now that I've got that in there, now I can create like a little floral arrangement in there. So I'm going to take, I need to clean up this little mess first. I'll be back. Okay, so we're back. Like I said, all this is covered up. And I am going to now add a little bit of these flowers and a little bit of the greenery. I don't need too much. I'm going to use this particular piece right here and I'm going to cut it right off of these stems. Kind of like that right in there to go across like towards the back here. Okay. So that little bit of stem that it does have, let me cut it shorter. I don't need it to be that long. And I'm going to put some glue on it. Put the glue on it while you're holding it away from the little box, not over the box, because I just had some glue drip right into there, but that's okay because I put that little bit here to lay on that little glue, so it'll keep it from, you know, going, you know, flopping forward, so it'll stay right there. Okay, let me get my glue gun a little closer to me and the lid out of the way because I'll get a ton of glue on that. Okay. Alright, so we also want to make sure that we're cleaning all our little glue webs once they're dry. Okay, let's take some of these. I like these little pink flowers. They're nice and small. So I have 2 stems like that. And I think I want one also because I kind of want to create like a little bouquet coming out from the side and then kind of there to the top. I don't want anything really like filling up too much in there. Okay, this one can go right there. That's what it looks like so far. Okay, and these little flowers, I'll probably cut them up and put them here and there. But I'm going to take these. Well, these are the ones that I cut that thing from. I think it was this one. Okay, so I'm going to cut these off of here. I'm not going to use these leaves. You can save the leaves for another project. I'm going to cut off the little flowers. Or these little, whatever these little decorative little thing is. I think I want one of these big flowers right here in the front. This isn't a very stiff little stem. It's kind of soft, so I'm making a little hole first, and then I can push this in there. Now this is kind of big, so I don't really want it, because then it's going to get squished down. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to make sure that that doesn't get folded forward. So I'm going to place this flower in there in a way that it doesn't. Maybe it's too long. You know what I'm going to do? Is I'm just going to trim off this whole stem and make a little well again in the moss. Put some glue here. And then just glue that inward in there. There we go. Okay. And I've got another one. I'm going to use this other one from there here. And I like this little one here. I'm going to glue this one back here. So it's kind of along these here. And I'm going to glue them against the stem of this pink flower. This little flower here, I just glued it, you know, against the stem of this other flower here. So it's in there. And this is a little different from this one, actually. They were in the same little bush. I don't know. I don't think I need to use that one, actually. I'm going to use this, just kind of stick it out through here in the front. Yeah, okay. Push that in there. So you can see what I'm doing. Okay, now these are the little flowers. I want to put them in different little spots. So one of them, I can actually take it off the little stem here, put a bit of glue, and glue it right in there. Just push it a little bit into the styrofoam. I'll actually take another one. Do the same thing. Make a little hole there in the moss. Stick it in there. You see that? So now I'm incorporating these little flowers. Actually, I'm just going to take them all off the stem here and glue them separately. Because I like this one. It's kind of, you know, closed up a little bit. Kind of like the idea of it sticking right in here, or maybe, yeah, I think right over here instead. I'll find a little hole there for it. And then these I'm going to glue in front of this little green stem that I stuck back there to hide that little pink flower I stuck in front of this one to hide its stem a little bit. Kind of make a little flow of flowers, and then I'm going to add another one way down here to cover that plasticky stem as well that I can see right there. Just like that. Okay, that's all you really have to do. You don't have to put too much in there. I had these white ones, but I really don't think I need them. I think I have enough. Let me just cut. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to cut little teeny bits like that. And just put like maybe 3 of them in there somewhere. just dot them there. Okay, I think that's good enough. And I did have some of this greenery. And I'm not going to use the ivy. That's why I'm telling you, just grab little bits, or anytime you cut something and you have a little bit left over, save it. Make yourself a little bag, a little, you know, a little pouch or something, or a little box where you can throw, or if you have a little storage cabinet that has drawers, pick a little drawer to throw all your greenery in there. And then you can just pick from there the items you want to use. Especially when you're doing something small like this, all these little bits come in handy. Let's say you were doing several little boxes you want to give as gifts. Then it wouldn't matter that you don't have enough of one for all of them, because they can all be different. I'm going to put one up here in the front. I'm just putting glue and then just kind of gluing it down to something. And then just laying it back down. Let me look at it. I'll let you look at it. I glued one right in here and then one back here. And I think I'm going to do one right around here. This little area here. Let some of this greenery come out through there. Okay, that'll be nice. So some glue at the bottom. Move this flower over so I can glue it right in there, and then just tuck it in. Oops, my glue gun just kind of burned me there. Oops. Okay, there we go. Tuck it in there. It's okay. I will survive. Let's move it back now. There we go. And that's what I put in there. So now I just want to put in my butterfly. Let's grab our package. And I want to use that purple one. There we go. It's got a little bit of a little wire there, which I think would be cute. Now normally I'll probably just pull it off the wire. I'm just going to bend it just a tad bit. But I'm going to use this wire to poke into the styrofoam so it looks like it's flying around on here. And then I'll just bend it as I see that it needs to be bent. Okay, so just stick it in a little bit. And now our butterfly is in our little box, and he's fluttering around on all these little flowers. And I think that that is nice, just like that. So now we're going to take the back here, and let me clean off all the little glue webs. I'm going to take the back here, and we're going to glue our battery pack to it. I think down here somewhere. We don't want to give any weight to the top and then make it topple over. So just in the back, and then I'll glue down the bits of the wire as well. And I'm just putting very little glue, just enough to get the wire to attach itself. Okay. Just making sure there's no glue bits anymore, because I keep finding them. Okay, so let's put some glue, and I'm making sure that the part that opens, which is this part right here, that's facing out, and so I'm gluing the other side of it down on my box. Put it in the middle. Bring it around like this, maybe. Put a little bit of glue right there. Lay it down. Let's turn this off for now. Okay, and now we can put our lid. Now you can choose to glue the lid down, or you can just have it so that it can come off. I'm going to glue it down, but I just wanted you to see how it looks right now. And then if we turn the little lights on, a little lighted box. There you go. I think that looks really cute. It's like a little bird cage. So instead of a butterfly, you could do a little bird in there. I think that would look super cute. But I'm really happy with this little box. So let me go ahead and put some glue. And I'm just going to put a little bit here and there. I'm not going to put it all the way around the edges. Just probably at the corners. And like I said, these little lights are from the Dollar Tree. So they were only $1. So now if the battery goes out, you can replace the battery. But you don't have to worry about replacing the lights because, you know, they were only $1. There we go. Alrighty. Alright everyone, I have completed my little butterfly shadow box. That is for Mother's Day. Here we go. I want you to take a look at the sides. Everything. The back where the battery pack is. Let's go ahead and turn the little lights on. And there we go. A little lighted box with a little butterfly. Like I said, you can do little birds in there and make a little bird cage instead. Okay, everyone, I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up and leave a nice comment down below. Let me know what you think of this little idea. If you'll be using it, what will you be using the inspiration maybe for to create something different? What are you thinking? What would you have done? Okay, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed and hit that notification bell. I have videos every Tuesday and every Friday, and share on your social medias. And as always, enjoy.